We're coming live from Amsterdam. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, we try and uplift you. My name is Gabriel Mark, reporting live from Texas, joined, as always, by my co-host that loves good roasts, Dane Davis.
Nice. And you know what? It's finally true. It's finally true. I do love good roasts.
Yeah. I actually took the time to type in a chat GBT. I was like, I like to say comical things to my co-host Dane. Last week was co-host with the most toast. And she said something about likes getting roasted. I'm like, well, what if he just likes roasts? So, because who doesn't like a good roast?
Like that's actually what AI is all about, right? It's not the final idea. It's about getting the inspiration.
Big facts on that one.
Yeah.
We are recording this on July 23rd. Yesterday, the Ken episode, part 1, just aired, and getting some good feedback. A lot of people like having guests. Listen, guys, okay? We're going to start offering merch and donations and Patreon. But, you know, we're working on it one day at a time, okay? Here, and we would love to have a guest on every week. We're working. But guess what? This week, you're stuck with the 2 champions of Download the Uplift, baby. It's cool, man, because I think that different guests are going to have different things, different cadences, different ways they talk. You know, some are going to be a little bit more goofy than others, and we'll just play it by ear week by week. But before we continue with the show, I just want to remind our audience to absolutely go ahead and pulverize that like button. If you're listening to a podcast, make sure you follow the show. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, because guess what? I say that now. I've come to peace with that, because the other day I had an epiphany. I was against this, okay? I didn't like the pandering for likes and subs. But at the end of the day, it's about making your audience bigger, not for any kind of like ultimate greed goal of ruling the social media world, but it's like, hey, it helps us out. It helps you remember to when new shows come out. So I remember the other night I was sitting and the kid's like, hey, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like this video. I was like, you know what? I am liking this. I'm going to give him a like. So
yeah, no, you got to do it, man. It's what we're here for.
Right. So I apologize, but we're like this podcast, like this video. Absolutely put your flamethrower on and hit that subscribe button.
Get your not a flamethrower and blast that subscribe button.
Blast it.
Incinerate it.
When you take your right finger, make sure you smash that like button and make sure you hit that ring-a-ding-ding alert bell.
Kilimanjaro. Remember that?
No, what's that?
Halo.
Come
on. Halo, man.
Maybe.
I know it's not Call of Duty, but
well, here's the one thing I was hoping you could maybe shine some light on it. Everyone's like, well, it really helps me with the algorithm. First of all, I just want to call all you creators out. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's great. Anyone chasing artistic or creative dream, I like it. But do you guys even really know what that means? Like, I want to say, yeah, it helps us with the algorithm because it's more like action with the channel or the video or whatever. But what does that even mean? Like, if you wanted to try and explain that to me like I was in 3rd grade.
Well, yeah, it's a fair point, because the algorithm keeps changing. And I don't know how frequently it's changed. Like, I don't know what the last little bit of change was, but yeah, they're constantly like optimizing it, right? Because every social media right now, it's like geared towards creating the best experience to keep people like attached to the social media. So it's like keep watching videos like for hours, and that's what we do. It's working. But yeah, YouTube's no different.
But isn't algorithm what Matt Damon was writing on, like when Robin Williams came out in Good Will Hunting? Wasn't he writing that on the side of the wall? But he was also a janitor.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's coding, right? So all it is algorithms. It's mathematics working in the background, calculating things. Yeah, that's all coding really is. It's it's pointing to certain variables and stuff like that, storing data, and it's math.
Well, if we're talking about whatever we're talking about, does YouTube have like scrub through it with algorithms or whatever? And then like say somebody clicks like on our video, like will it show, obviously we'll probably show more of our videos, but we'll show like other similar content basically? Is that that's like the main goal?
Yeah, like so if someone's engaging a lot with us, let's say, like you guys,
Thanks
it'll
for that,
show you.
Mo.
Yeah, it'll show you more of our stuff. If you're just interacting with stuff like this in general, like if you look up self-help or podcasts or whatever, then it's going to give you more of that. Yeah, and it'll give you all the like top creators, the people that get the engagements the most. And I think maybe not at this point, but at one point there was a bit of an incentive for the algorithm to sort of give new creators a bit of a boost when they're like fresh out. But I don't know. That was a long time ago. I don't know if it does that anymore.
It's tough. I mean, trying to fight in this world, like sometimes I look at like the podcast numbers like, whew, this is rough, man. It's a lot of hours and stuff, but
yeah,
it's also a labor of love. I will say, want to say shout out and thank you to the YouTube. We're up to 121 subs. I don't know where 12 people came from, but thanks, yo. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate you. Yeah, it's freaking super cool. I think we started right at like 101. So I don't know, 3 months, 20 subs, baby.
Yeah, that's not that bad. That's honestly not that bad.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
For starting out, that's pretty good. I like that.
I know I mentioned that we're filming this on July 23rd, but here's the thing. We were doing this like week to week. So this time we're going to have 2 weeks out. It's going to be a little bit smooth. I'm going to see some Halo buddies. It's going to be crazy. But I want to say, so like, listen, we love doing current events. So the current event that I'm going to bring up today, it happened a couple weeks ago because you're listening to this in August, but it's still super cool to talk about, which brings me to, did you see Yellowstone, freaking the geyser, the Biscuit Basin in Yellowstone National Park has blown up, destroying a nearby boardwalk as tourists could be seen running to safety. I'm going to pull this up right now. It's crazy.
Me and my coworkers were just talking about that. I haven't seen this. Wow.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, get out.
Yikes, dude. That's crazy. So if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, basically it's just this massive eruption. Oh my gosh, it looks like apocalyptic of just steam, dirt, rocks just exploding out of the ground at Yellowstone.
That's crazy, man.
Damn, Mr. Dutton. Dang, dude, that's crazy. So I actually looked up. I was like, what the heck is what's going on? Like, what is a hydrothermal explosion? Like, what is it? So apparently, hydrothermal explosions are violent and dramatic events resulting in the rapid ejection of boiling water, steam, mud, and rock fragments. They occur where shallow, interconnected reservoirs of fluids with temperatures at or near the boiling point underlie thermal fields. These fluids can rapidly transition to steam, and the pressure suddenly drops, transitioning the steam into significant expansion and blows apart surrounding rocks and ejects debris. That's wild, man. And apparently they can't even predict them. They just kind of happen.
Well, you can't, right? Like you can always say when something seems to be primed due to like the activity going on around it, like whether it's seismic or other kind of signs. But yeah, it's like when will an earthquake occur? You never know. It's just when that fault slips. There you go. There's the earthquake. Same thing with a volcano. Same thing with a geyser. But this one, to my knowledge, hasn't blown like for a long time. I don't know how long it is, but it's rare that it goes off. So it's interesting. Everyone was saying, well, any minute Yellowstone could just wipe Nevada off the face of the map, and probably Texas.
Well,
Sad time.
it's definitely terrifying. If it,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. I read that they can't predict those, but like a volcano, they get like the tell signs where they'll be like, she's gonna erupt soon or something like that. I saw Tommy Lee Jones in Volcano when there's a volcano downtown LA.
It was a good movie, man.
No, it's not. I rewatched it. I was like, this is so corny, dude. Let's put this bus in the way of this alleyway. It will stop the lava. Like,
yeah, totally. And then just have like a firefighter jump out into the lava and
wait.
That was off. It was like out of the back of the bus. He like had a passenger. Remember?
No, that was the subway guys. They were trapped in the subway.
Oh,
and he wanted to save the last unconscious guy, and he was like the bad guy the whole movie. But his like hero time was like, I'm gonna save this guy. So he leapt off the back of the subway car, holding the dude, like straight push pressing him as he was like melting his whole body, but somehow he kept him and then threw him like 30 feet. I was like, really? Adrenaline's a mofo. Damn.
Yeah, that was the one scene that stuck with me when I was like 5 watching Volcano.
Movie. What year was that movie? Volcano. Come on, Tommy Lee Jones. And what were you gonna say about it though? The movie.
No, I was just like, I remember it being a good, shocking movie. I was like, this can happen.
1997. Oh my gosh. So I was 12. So yeah, you were what, 3?
Okay, so 92. Giving away birth dates here.
Oh, you were 5. Good call.
Yeah, I was.
Wow, good guess.
A lot of stuff happened when I was 5, man.
Apparently in Los Angeles there was a volcano. All right, who was in this movie? Okay, Tommy Lee Jones. I feel like he's just kind of retired. He was in Men in Black and stuff. Dude, this lady, Anne Heche.
Yeah.
Dude, she was like super high on drugs apparently and went blasting down LA in her Mini Cooper and crashed into someone's house. And then
really? Like recently?
In 2022.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't even know she died.
Yeah, dude. It was crazy, dude. She was blasting down the road and like a Ring camera caught it. Watch for a blue car shooting by. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like super high and hit someone's house.
Well, it's what always gets me, and like you hear it with like they were high, they were drunk, but it's like they're high, drunk, and they're speeding. Yeah, like you're just doing everything to make it horrible to drive.
Well, someone like that, it's possible because she was in 6 Days, 7 Nights. She was in a couple big movies, and it's probably like we've talked about before. Could have been like really famous, and then the acting job started to dry up. And dude, that could probably be a huge entryway into depression, dude. If you like went from being on sets treated like a royalty to, you can't book a commercial or a play, it's like that's probably gonna be a huge, depression causing thing.
No, for sure. Yeah, it's like kids that end up being celebrities at a young age and stuff like that, trying to handle that growing up and everything, and you kind of lost your childhood a bit.
Right.
Pretty tough to do.
Who do you think the most infamous child actor is? Like, if just thinking offhand. But some end up being all right. Like, I'm pretty sure Drew Barrymore, wasn't she in E.T.? Like, and then she turned out to be pretty successful. But then some just, dude, they freaking go crazy.
Yeah, well, it's tough as well because it's like I feel like most of the child actors that I knew of who kind of like went off the deep end, they've kind of got themselves back together now, like a little bit, Like who's the guy from Home Alone again? I'm forgetting his name.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin. Like he kind of I don't even know exactly what was going on with him, but he was kind of struggling for a bit with everything that had gone on, and now he's seems to be doing all right. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's hard to say because I don't mean for it to be like a judgment because of like what they went through and all that stuff. Even though they had the fame, the money, and that's great, they still like did it when they were kids and maybe weren't exactly 100% sure of what they were even doing. You know, so.
Well, Macaulay Culkin's dad was, I'm pretty sure, like one of those crazy Hollywood parents and stole a bunch of his money. And
Yeah,
I think it was something like that. Like Lindsay Lohan's dad was pretty messed up too. It's weird when you hear about these parents of these child actors that like think they're famous and just rob the kids. Oh, Screech's parent, was it Screech's parents? I don't know.
Probably look some of it up to be like, all right, this is what happened. Definitely.
Well, Macaulay Culkin's dad, at least I know he was a problem on set, but I think Macaulay Culkin ended up going to like Harvard or something. But yeah, to come back and be balanced. Like, here's the thing. I look at like, okay, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber got famous when he was what, 13 or something like that. Baby, baby, baby.
Yeah.
I remember I lived in Hollywood in 2010, North Hollywood, for like 7 months. And that song, I think, just came out and like, or something like that. And he was a young blood, dude. He got thrown into extreme fame. You just aren't able to grow up normally. But and I guess maybe now he's got the Hailey Bieber, and they got like a little kid and stuff. So maybe he's balanced himself out.
Yeah, I think he's all right now. But I mean, he definitely did questionable things when he was growing up. But yeah, it's like if you're not the right kind of person, like that amount of stress and just never being alone and having people like flock to your hotel room and all that stuff, like yeah, that's pretty crazy to deal with. But it doesn't excuse some of his actions that he did. Like, you know, I think he spat on some fans and stuff like that. That's not
cool.
That's not excusable at all. But again, like, you know, you can put judgment onto someone, but and like I said, it doesn't excuse it. But he's still growing up. Like what stupid things did we do when we were kids? You know, and if we were famous, like what would everyone think of us? You know, what stuff would come out about me, you know, in my teens or anyone, right? Like so. Yeah, I think definitely in those cases, especially, I would root for them, sort their lives out. You know, if anything that needs sorting out, whether it's like they end up in drug addiction or, you know, something like that. I wish them the best, and I think a lot of them are doing way better now than they were like 10 years ago or something.
Do you think that like the hair metal, like the 80s, do you think they would have been going as crazy as they did? And this is just what we're hearing. Like stories and stuff and like camcorder footage of like, you know, the ones you had in your shoulder. Do you think that they would have been going as hard and doing the crazy stuff they did if technology, like everyone's got a camera now? Do you think it would have gone down the way it did if technology existed back then the way it does now?
Well, no, I think that's a great question because like, are we maybe a little bit more aware of the bad consequences of some of those actions because of technology, or you know, would there ever be a case where we'd have that amount of technology, like cell phones everywhere, where we just haven't quite gotten that yet? Or and it's also a bit of a cultural change, I think, in general. Like the 80s was, you know, party city and everything, and there's parts of that I would have loved. You know?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it would have been great. Not necessarily all the drug use and stuff like that, but just having a good time, rock and roll and all that stuff. I would have loved that. But yeah, like I think, you know, society's sort of moved to a different thing a bit, but also I feel like just the fact that everyone has a camera and they can see certain things that, you know, people have probably gotten a little bit more like standoffish to that kind of lifestyle because it you know, music videos, shows and stuff like that, like you look at it, you're like, this is amazing, you're on cloud 9, you know, you just climbed Everest, but behind the scenes, you know, it's not all there, you know.
What do you mean by that?
I just mean that
Give me an example of that.
so if you're at a show and you're watching like Motley Crue or whatever, time
In
of
the
your life, right?
80s?
In the 80s, yeah,
Oh my
you're having
gosh.
the time of your life, right?
Oh, so much
And
fun.
and they seem like larger than life, and everyone's having a good time. Everyone's like drinking, doing drugs, whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
No
Hooking
one
up.
cares. Yeah, yeah.
Just
Sounds amazing, but then behind all that, there's consequences, there's drama, there's friendships being broken, people getting hurt. It's like Vince Neil when he crashed his car and everything. While he was drunk. So yeah, it's a great time, but then there's things that happen from having too good of a time, right?
mm-hmm.
And not caring and not thinking about like, oh, I could hurt someone, And I think people are more conscious of that kind of stuff, especially because we've seen that happen in the 80s and elsewhere. So, yeah.
Or do you think it's because we are in a technology age and like people just don't want to get caught? Like, I think that like, when was the last time there was someone like a Motley Crue, like, dude, that literally like just flicked off the paparazzi, like walking down the street with Jack Daniels and a bunch of girls? Like, that doesn't exist now. But I feel like if someone did do that, like, but they could actually were making hit music and like they were famous, not just pretending. I don't know, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
just be a like, you know what I mean? Like whatever to society and all this political correctness, just be an absolute rock star. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I guess Post Malone kind of, but he's like kind of emo too. I mean, like a freaking, I raced my Ferrari down Las Vegas Boulevard with 3 girls in the passenger seat. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like I'm saying, like it was a different time. People aren't really about that anymore. Like you can't, I don't think you could really get away with being a rock star and being like, I slept with like 5 girls last night and never called them and like,
right.
and like, oh, all of them had boyfriends and stuff like that. Like it would just, I think people would just be like, well, this person's an asshole. I don't want to go see them anymore. But yeah, like back in the day, it was definitely more acceptable. It was, and people loved it. And there's part of me that loves some of it.
I heard somewhere, I don't even know if it was from their actual autobiography, The Dirt. I know we're talking about just random stuff, but God bless this podcast. But I heard they had a competition where they wanted to see who could go the longest without showering and still hook up with chicks. So like,
yeah.
Like, dude, okay. Like, I know that after, if I go like work out or if I go for my run, like, yo, I'm a sweaty dude,
Yeah.
These guys, people like, I mean, these guys were literally tore all day, sit on the bus. I bet they probably went weeks. I don't know the exact time, but that's crazy.
Yeah. And you can look at it like they did that and how gross of them to do that. But you can also look at it like the girls also did that. They accepted it. They were like, I know you're sweaty, but you're Motley Crue. And it's like, but dude, have you seen them live?
Well, I saw clips of their last year or whatever when it was like, damn, man, Vince Neil, I'm not passing judgment on him. It's like, dang, dude, like, I don't know, man. Some of those, his vocals aren't like they used to be.
No, yeah. And naturally, like, you get older, it's not going to be there.
A lot of Jack.
What's that?
A lot of Jack.
Yeah. And the more Jack you add, just more powerful your vocals are, at least for the
that's
night.
That's a good point. Great point.
And then 30 years later, they're gone. No, but I saw them, I want to say it's probably like 7 years ago. They were good. I liked it.
Oh,
it's awesome.
Maybe they toured after The Dirt came out. All I know is that Diana told me about The Dirt, and this is when I was like already a mess, like 2018 when it came out. So I was in my loft, and I watched that, and I was like, I could be like that, and just to set off one of the many benders. But you forget how many, like, I literally went and got tattooed that night. You forget how many hits that they had, though. Like, Here's the thing. I always hear the question, they say it on Rogan a lot, like, if you could go back to any time period ever, when would you go? And I listen, there's all kinds of cool answers, like, different eras, whatever. But I think honestly, to go, if I had my mindset and be able to go to the 80s, like prime hair metal for like 2 weeks, just to party, to see how different it was, that'd be cool too. Like that's up there in like times I would go back. What about you?
I agree. 80s is definitely, and I would say the 60s and 70s would be interesting.
Yeah. What about like way back, like Greek philosophy times? Would you go just hang out in like a robe and what? Yeah,
yeah, just hang out in a robe. That's all they do.
Discuss things, pick up sand.
Yeah, that's all it was. Everyone was just talking and thinking. They're like,
everyone just, that's it. I don't know, man. As long as I can bring like a roll of TP with me, I like. You don't realize toilet paper is a relatively new thing, so it's like, can I bring some hygiene things? Can I bring like, I don't know, like I don't know, I don't know, base hand sanitizer, wipes, maybe some TP. Just get me through 2 weeks. Like I'm on vacation, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, and then you go back to like 2024, and it's just the future. Right? It's 50 years of progress because you brought hand sanitizer back and toilet paper.
If I came back to 2024,
yeah,
with hand sanitizer and TP, there already is hand sanitizer.
No, you took hand sanitizer and TP into the past.
Yeah.
So now you come back to 2024.
And
it's 50 years in the future.
My new co-host of Download the Uplift is Doc Brown, Dr. Emmett Brown. If you don't know who that is, it's a Back to the Future reference. Okay, so also
that's such a classic, like, you messed up the future trope. It's
like because I had it there, all of a sudden people were clean for longer. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad I
and people live longer, so they invented more stuff.
If you go back to 1776, like, they taxed our tea. Let's get to fighting, boys. Now you see what's going on. It's like, it's okay. Oh shoot. Yo, so check this out. Do you know what's happening October 4th?
What's happening? This is in the future.
in the future, Joker 2 is coming out. It's called Folie à Deux. Did you like the first one with Joaquin Phoenix and stuff? Did you see the first one?
Isn't it Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin, is it?
Yeah, Joaquin.
I'm leaving that too. When I'm sitting and editing this, leave that. Yeah, you're right. What's his name?
Joaquin Phoenix.
What'd I say?
Joaquin.
I'm leaving that. I don't care. Judge me. I'm an open book, baby. I got my armor on.
It's cool. Yeah, I really like the first one. I thought it was really good. My favorite Joker is still Heath Ledger.
Of course.
Well, Heath Ledger and Mark Hamilton.
That's such an obscure reference. Which one was he in?
Mark Hamilton is like the Joker. He's in the cartoons and everything.
Oh. Well, so this dude,
classic.
He did the first one. He did randomly Hangover, Road Trip with Tom Green, War Dogs, great movie. I love the movie War Dogs. Starsky and Hutch, Project X was pretty cool. Old School. Oh, there you go, Todd Phillips. Dude, imagine doing a movie like Old School and then having like a dramatic movie like The Joker. That's so wild, dude. Wow.
He's diverse.
Yeah, that's a fact, man.
Wasn't Project X that neighborhood party thing where they just set everything on fire?
Yeah, well, it was based on a true story of these Australian kids that had such a big party that they it was national news. So they recreated or something like that. It was a good movie too, except for when the dog was in the trampoline. I felt bad for the dog. But here's the thing about the Joker movie. This is an unpopular opinion. I don't have loaded up the more sound clip anymore.
Right, I got you.
Okay, unpopular opinion.
What's your unpopular opinion?
I didn't think it was that good. The last Joker movie. Okay, it was good. My man Joaquin Phoenix, his acting was unbelievable. I'll say that. I get it. But like the build up, once he was the Joker and he shot Robert De Niro, like that epic, here's for you, Marty. Bang. Like, that was dope. That was a great scene. But like there was so much like like it was too serious. Like and then I don't know.
I remember people trying to mimic that laugh. And you know, like everyone did Heath Ledger's Joker, right? We're all doing the impersonations. But when people were like trying to imitate like the new Joker's laugh, like it was on one like Halloween event I did, everyone in the room was just like, stop.
Oh, really?
It was like the loudest, like most obnoxious laugh ever. And just everyone in the room was like, all right, you didn't have to go that hard with it. But I love the performance that Joaquin Phoenix did in the movie. It's great. In
Yo, just a straight face. Yikes, that is creepy, huh?
Yeah.
Dang.
You did really good.
My man Joaquin just crushing it.
Joaquin.
I also wanted to, before we get into the quote of the week, I want to show you this, dude. This is freaking cool, dude. As a man that's into technology, video equipment, on a scale of 1 to 10, and wait until you see the clip, and then we'll describe it to the audience. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and follow our show on everywhere.
If you're watching on Spotify, you can rotate your phone to landscape, and then you'll see us.
Yeah. Oh, that's very true. Thanks, co-host. Dude, check this.
This is the dimension of imagination.
Look at this.
It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Look.
This is the
Dude,
that's awesome.
Okay, so how would you describe that to the audience?
Well, so it's a drone with a camera on it, which is very common. But this is it looks like it's a Sony FS series camera, or it might be a PWS. I'm not quite sure. Super close into it, but yeah, it's got a gimbal on it. I almost feel like that gimbal is a Crane 3, which is nice. It's a really nice gimbal, or it might be,
Dude.
I don't know, it might be something else, but that's pretty crazy, and you can see how stable that is as well.
Oh my gosh, it's so stable. Well, yeah, it's 8 to keep, because that's a lot of weight. When I first saw this, I was like, dude, even just to have that camera, maybe it's not that heavy, but
the camera is probably about 15 to 20 pounds, I want to say.
Wow.
So it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot for a gimbal to handle and for a drone to handle that smoothly.
Is that all batteries at the bottom? I assume it's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's batteries for sure. But like it's going sideways.
This is crazy. But like, and like you said, it's smooth as heck. So if you were to buy a rig like that, so real quick, he described it, but I'll do it too. It's this crazy drone with a gimbal that, if you don't know what a gimbal is, it keeps things level no matter where you move it, with like a obscenely expensive camera. What would you say? And I don't know, this was just on my X feed. I thought it was super cool. What would you say, literally random guesstimate for a rig like that? Because that's professional, right? What we're looking at.
Yeah. Depending on what the camera is, it can vary quite a lot. It's a gray Sony camera. It looks like it's an FS series. It might be an FS9. If it's that, I would say you're looking at 15 to 20,000. If it's a FS camera that is lower than a 9, then possibly the $10,000 to $15,000 range. And I might be way off. This might be an absurd amount, but I don't think it's like any higher grade camera than that. But it's impressive for what it's doing. That's again, it's like 15, 20 pounds or something like that.
Wow, that's cool, man. I mean, I'm impressed by just flying my little DJI, like, under whatever
Like Maverick
gram.
or whatever it is.
Yeah. And I used it when I was in the RV, but dude, that thing is responsive. It has 4K. So when you like something like that, man, it just goes in that, like we talk about all the time. It's like, where's it going to go from here? You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
That right there is crazy. I'll admit that's awesome. I'd love that rig. There's another drone. Okay. It's got a camera mounted on it, so it's one of those, like, just pre-installed cameras. I think it's like an 8K, but this drone can do the exact same pattern. Like, it can fly through the air in the exact same orientation and exact same space over and over and over again, and can manipulate the camera exactly the same way over and over and over again.
Whoa.
So you can do robotically controlled shots with a drone. I'm forgetting what it's called, but it was really cool. It was shown on Corridor Crew.
Oh, and dude, see if you can pull it up. You got all the functions.
Yeah, let's see, man.
Dude, that's crazy.
Let's see here. It's the DJI Inspire 3.
Oh my gosh, it's $16,000. Oh my god.
Yeah. So this thing, man, it's full 8K, and then you just program in the GPS coordinates of where you want it to go, and then it just flies that path for you, and does the gimbal control on the camera.
That's crazy, because especially if there's a lot of wind, for it to like be able to get back to that exact location.
Oh yeah,
probably takes a lot of muscle, dude. I think mine was like $700 back in 2021. And dude, it's fast. It works well. Good picture. So, dude, it must be a crazy upgrade. It'd be $16,500. Damn, man.
Definitely like cutting edge kind of technology. Like I said in the last one. But
when I think of drones, it makes me happy. You know what else makes me happy? Is music. Which brings us to our quote of the
week. What's this song?
Quote of the week.
Oh, those coconuts.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our quote of the week. And Dane, do you want to take it away?
Sure. All right. The quote of the week. Where words fail, music speaks. Hans Christian Andersen. I like it.
Yeah. This episode we're going to focus on, we're calling it Tunes for Wellness. Thanks, ChatGPT. Here's the thing. I was thinking about it last week. I was in a funk before the show. I was like, okay, we got to film, whatever. But Dane was also pressed for time. I think we both were just like, all right, let's do this. But before I was like, all right, let me sit down a little early instead of rushing to the podcast. And let me just listen. I listened to Armin van Buuren, A State of Trance. Good for him. He's still crushing it. And he puts out like a new compilation of new modern house music so I just sat and I listened, and that stream of his music got me into a completely different mood, which made me think, let's talk about how music can affect us both positively, but also, like, if you're a musical person, I think, or most people in general, it can affect you in like an intense or sad way as well, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Look, music in a lot of ways is therapy for people. And I don't necessarily think if you are listening to like a sad song or whatever, something that kind of puts you in your feels a bit, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either. But yeah, I mean, most of the time music's just amazing, great thing. But I do agree from a creative side of things, if you are a musician, music can have this kind of duality sort of nature where you're putting so much into it, and it gives you so much, but at the end of the day, it can be like a lot of stress to get to the final product and everything. So I agree.
Actually creating music, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Man, what was it? Mama, I'm coming home. Like, dude, that song, that Ozzy song will give me all the feels, man. I remember I was like 2005 and I was living in Providence, Rhode Island. I was dating this girl and we were at like this shady, like probably mob run bar, but they had a jukebox and I played that song and I like welled up, but then I kept playing it. She goes, stop listening to that. You're upsetting yourself. But I'm not even like, it's weird. And I don't know, man. And I wonder, like, is that unique to me? Cause like whether some people just, here's the thing with all things like not even mental health, just like when you examine people emotionally, it's like just because some people wear their heart on their sleeves, it's like some people that even though they have like a tough exterior, maybe that mama, I'm coming home, maybe that affects them too, but they're not showing it, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
No, I saw this this meme the other day. It was like, here's me repeating the song because it didn't hurt my feelings enough. Yeah, it's just I think it was our second podcast or something like that. I was telling you about like that movie Inside Out. It's not always about just the good vibe music and stuff like that. I love listening to that. I think I love it now that I'm an adult more than I did when I was a kid. I was sort of more into let me just get emotional and deep here with music. But I think it's not always about like the good times kind of music. It's also about like listening to music that speaks to you. And it can be a very great experience and something that can maybe not resolve the issue or like even clarify it really, but it just gives you a bit of an outlet to kind of express that.
I was reading up on a little bit because I always like put it in chat GBT just to get like some, but she was saying, because for some reason it's a she to me, she mentioned memory and cognitive function, but it's so wild where one song will like literally transport me to a certain situation. Like I said, like I just painted that picture of us in that mob bar, but I literally can almost smell it just even thinking of that song. Yeah. But I think it's cool where, well, I guess it could be kind of a bummer too, like if someone plays a song and it just brings back a bad memory. But yeah,
well, the thing is like your memories of something, and this is kind of off topic of music, but your memories of something are basically you're just reliving how your brain interpreted that situation. Whoa. And it's also depending on how you're feeling currently, it's going to be either a good memory or a bad memory, right? For a lot of things. So you could look back on that and you could be like, I miss those times and I wish I still had them and be sad about it. Or you could be like, you could still say I miss those times, but they could make you happy that you went through that and happy that you're in that situation.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Or if you like made it through.
Yeah.
I got a feeling of strength. I'll say this for sure. Like, it's weird. I actually was talking to Johnny because he was commenting on the interview podcast. I was like, how's the sound system in the new vehicle? He goes, oh, it's pretty killer, man. But I just listen to a lot of podcasts and I'm like, bro, what happened to us? Because me too. But it's wild. Like if I go out, especially if I have to get something done, won't you put on the tunes, man, instead of like getting out of like just Joe Rogan or download the Uplift? It just changes. Like, okay, let's get this done, especially with working out. Okay, so I like podcasts as well, obviously, but like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I try and do like 2 to 4 miles, right, or 3 to 4 miles. But my workout changes completely if I'm listening to like either metal or house music or like 90s hip hop. Like I'm like, and I look down at my heart rate. I'm like, oh shoot, it's like 164. I don't think that's good. Meanwhile, if I'm listening to like some political podcast or something, I'm like, just nice nature today, just moseying around. It's wild. And they say that when you're working out, you really shouldn't listen to music because you might be pushing yourself too hard or something. Who knows if that's true? But
well, I think, I don't know. I want to just throw out BS percentage, but I probably 70% of people listen to music while working out, if not more. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good thing, and I do the same thing, man. I was like blasting Linkin Park in my room anytime I wanted to get something done. But you want to know the weirdest thing? Just as an audio engineer, try blasting music, your favorite song, when you're trying to get audio work done. Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you like need to work on audio for like 10 hours straight, it's like, that's it. That's all you got. It's just you there. Like, and you can't even really like watch a movie or anything.
right.
Again, like no sound, and you still need to like look at what you're doing. So yeah, so it's just you and whatever you're working on.
Bro, you said it, man. When I'm doing like the Ken podcast, dude, it was 6 hours. I was looking at my freaking screen. And like I sent you a video of like some synthwave stuff because there's no lyrics, but I can't even do that because I need to hear it and look at each, the frames and stuff. It's like, that sucks. Like when you're editing video or music, it's like, I wish I could just have something like, but you need to concentrate on the actual stuff you're editing. So I guess that is kind of a bummer.
it's the bane of an audio engineer / video editor.
Yeah. Oh, well, we do it for you. Download the Uplift audience or music lovers out there. We do it for you. Oh, shoot. Well, here's the crazy thing about like, as far as moods and music go, I think Johnny thinks this is like baloney. I don't even know if it is, and maybe it's just placebo. But what do you think about the whole changing the hertz of music? Like, dude, I changed this Blink-182 song to 432 hertz. It just sounds better, man. I'm more relaxed. Have you heard of that at all?
Yeah, so that's like the tuning of it. No, I don't think that matters at all. Like there's
podcast over.
Yeah, well, there you go. Differences of opinion. Just can't have that.
Your chakra is off, man. I could tell, dude. Your whole energy. Me personally, I love listening to 432, man, when I'm journaling. Just
so every podcast, I have to be like, yes, John, I agree. Yeah. I just have like friggin' 440 hertz playing in my ear. Can't speak. It's a 440 hertz interfering with my speech. No, I don't think that matters at all. What really counts, what really makes people feel anything with music, is the relationship of harmony between one note and another.
Speak on it a little bit.
So, well, if you have one single note, right, like your root note of whatever key, that doesn't matter what it is. If you had a major third onto that, it's going to sound a certain way, right? And that's like a chord. You have a root, you have a major third, and then you have your fifth. And that's what makes up every triad every triad chord out there, at least the major ones. And that sounds a certain way. That sounds a bit brighter, a bit more uplifting and happy, right? But if you take that major third and you turn it into a minor third, then you have a minor chord, and that can sound a bit sad, melancholy, and stuff like that. So it's the relationships between the harmonics or the harmony of that of those notes that really actually have an effect on you. And I don't know why we evolved to recognize that. It was probably because, well, like, birds sing. Birds have like, stuff that they do to, like, if you hear a bird chirping, it'll be a certain note value. So sounds like that could have helped us like throughout our evolution to help us survive and help us recognize each other and stuff like that. But I don't know why it evolved into like such a complex thing where we now have like, a third, a fourth, a fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth intervals that, all the way up to 11 that, we actually identify with and we manipulate it in a way that it makes, this song, this music, everything from like the chords you play to the chord changes to what is being said at the time, that like brings on, like how you feel about the song. It changes your emotional state.
I don't
while
doubt that for a second.
but that's a bit of a complicated way of saying like songs make us feel things.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Have you ever met anyone who's like, I don't like music?
I not that they don't like music, but they don't like a lot of it. And
I don't know.
A lot of times it's people who work in live sound or in audio who kind of become a bit
Jaded to it.
Maybe a bit jaded. And it's not all of them, but there's some that they just kind of go like, yeah, this is all right. And it could be this great moment that everyone else is excited for, but they're like,
Yeah, well, here's the thing though. But when they get home and they have like their Pabst Blue Ribbon, I bet they probably got like a vinyl collection. It's just like low key or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll say one thing for me. I don't hate music at all. I love it. I still love blasting music when it's when I want that kind of a thing happening. But since I got through my like mid 20s to early 30s, and I'm listening to a lot more music when I'm driving now. But for a long time, I was listening to silence because most of my life is around music. So it was actually good to just kind of have a bit of quiet drive home or whatever after like a night of DJs or bands or whatever it was.
That's fair.
Not that I hated it. I loved it, but it's just like, after a while, silence is pretty good as well. But I'm listening to more music now.
Well, a lot of people find that it's therapeutic to like write music, but you know what that is? Journaling. Had to mention it. I know for a fact, dude, when I wrote the lyrics to Haunted Circus, bro, I was in such an awesome, I was like, I just want to get it out. Like another scary night. Like, yo, what was it?
I got caught up in the lifestyle.
Oh yeah, I got caught up in the lifestyle, binge drinking, still sipping, grippy right style, something like that. But yo, I was like speaking on like real things that happened, and it felt good to get all that out. And then you wrote that crazy like spooky sound to it too. That song was awesome, man.
Oh yeah, dude, I love that song.
I'll link it down below. It's still on this page. I don't know if we're gonna keep the music videos up, but for now, if you want to watch Haunted Circus, it's live on this channel. I'll link it down below. Make sure you subscribe. We mentioned. Don't worry, guys. I'm making a joke of it this week, but I am gonna mention it.
But seriously, subscribe though.
Make sure you hit that like button. It's crazy. Like workout tech, dude. It's so good now for like we mentioned working out and listening to music. Like literally, I wear like a fanny pack because I have like a little mini jogging bottle of water, and I just put my phone and then AirPods, Bluetooth. But even I don't know, 10 years ago, you had to have like the strap to like either your phone or before that an iPod. Then before that, dude, like I guess I'm trying to remember because I think I was too young. But did people just run with like a CD player after Walkmans? Obviously tape players, Walkmans, but I'm trying to think, did people run with like anti-skip CD players? Let's see if I can look.
Well, so yeah, you had Walkmans, and I don't know if they were the first CD player to come out, but I remember I had my own portable. It was like this blue, might have been a Sony like CD player. And man, like if I barely even jumped, that thing would skip.
That's true. But dude, look what I just found. I remember these. Not this one exactly, but dude, $75. Sport Discman.
Yeah.
Let me see. How long of a skip? Because it had to like build it up. Because I assume it just read the information on the CD ahead, right? And like stored it in some kind of a memory.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Dang, there's a lot of them. This got parts only $20, but yeah. And then before that, it was tapes, and then before that was I don't know. That's crazy.
Well, before that was vinyl.
Well, I mean, for like jogging, I'm thinking. I guess maybe radio. Or no, yeah. If you remember, like some of the 70s movies, they would have headphones like this with like two antennas, and they'd just run down the street like this, hoping to like have like I don't know that Buddy Holly. Shout out Buddy Holly.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, we've come a long way, and definitely digital is way better for working out and stuff like that. No skips. What do you feel about digital recordings versus like vinyl or whatever? Because vinyl is coming back in a big way, and I have a vinyl player. I've got some vinyl and stuff like that, but I've got a take on it. I'm curious what you think.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like is Johnny's house that he was playing Johnny's might as well be part of this podcast. We mention him every week, but he's got a vinyl, and I think it's really cool that bands, like current bands, release stuff on vinyl. But I don't know if I can tell the difference necessarily. And there's people that live by vinyl, like, no, bro, you got to hear it on vinyl. But like Beartooth, like one of my current favorite bands, like one of their latest albums, whatever the pink one is, it's so good. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Yeah, they released it on vinyl. Like, what's the advantage of it? Like, if you could like explain it besides just like, oh no, it sounds better. Like, what's the main advantage?
Well, so my take on vinyl is that it's not actually as good as like digital is or CDs, and that might make a lot of people upset or whatever. But if you listen to specifically like vinyl from like new records and stuff like that, where you have like this digital comparison that everyone knows, and then you listen to like the vinyl version of it. So take like Avenged Sevenfold's the one that I have a vinyl of, where I notice this is like a huge difference. The amount of bass that you get from it is not as much, and it might just be the vinyl itself, but I've noticed this with all my vinyls. Yeah, it's just it's not as like punchy with like the kick drum and stuff like that. There's not as much bass information from the bass guitar. It doesn't sound bad. There's not as much information as a digital recording, in my opinion. And tape sounds really good as well. I think you can actually get maybe a bit more fidelity out of the bass response on tape, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, like I really love listening to vinyl for old records. For new records, I don't like it. I'd rather listen to the digital version because there's just so much more information there. And I think vinyl is it's a great experience to like play on a vinyl player, like and have that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. And then if you're listening to old records, like you're listening to Queen, Beatles, like
Led Zeppelin, like a Led Zeppelin record would probably be great. Like,
yeah, dude, like Chicago, like any of that, and
Boston
would be awesome.
Eagles,
yeah, all those bands,
that'd be cool.
Amazing on vinyl, and I love, yeah. You should go one. But I love listening to those, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not for every genre, and it's not for modern music where you like want to push this like aggressive bass through, right? Like I wouldn't listen to EDM on vinyl.
No.
Yeah. But a lot of people will say the opposite. They'll say like the bass is richer or whatever, but just in my opinion, from being an audio guy, it's missing some of those frequencies. So yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt that. I mean, how much information can you get on that freaking piece of wax or whatever they are?
Well,
that's the only way I listen to music is the old timey beeswax.
The cylinders.
You have to just crank it. Wax cylinders. That's how I like to jam out, bro. I just have a guy when I'm jogging next to me with a phonograph just cranking. It goes.
Yep. Well, yeah, the wax cylinders came out first, and then they did vinyl presses, and there was like this kind of a battle between the two formats, because I can't remember like who invented the two formats right now. But there was a bit of a battle between like what was better, the cylinder or the vinyl. And vinyl, you can fit so much information on, and then it also has a second side that you can put so much information on. And it's easier, way easier to control.
Well, comment down below what you think. What's a song that gets you in a mood? Like, what kind of song gets you like, bro, whenever I hear that song, I want to drink whiskey, or whenever I hear that song, I want to cry. Like whenever I hear Mama, I'm coming home. Oh, such a good song. When was the last time you heard that song?
It's gotta be a couple years.
No, I feel like I've heard it at your house on that crazy sound system at the bar. I don't know.
Yeah, but that might have been a couple years back.
Oh yeah, isn't that crazy? Dude, that might have been. Wow. Whoa. Dang.
When I think of Mama, I'm Coming Home, the other thing it's similar lyrics, but Motley Crue, I'm coming home.
Oh yeah, dude, it is. Which one came out first? That's the question. Actually, I think Motley Crue did, because wasn't Ozzy like in the 90s, like when that came out?
Maybe mid to late 80s for Ozzy, but that was kind of Motley Crue as well. I think they were mid to late
1991 was Mama, I'm Coming Home, and then Motley Crue.
I think.
All right, before I click this, do you think it's before or after Mama, I'm Coming Home in 1991 that Motley Crue song came out?
I want to say slightly after.
1985, the year I was born, bro. So they were first. Oh, that's when they were sober, apparently, dude. I don't know if that's true from the movie, but
so Motley Crue, then they were like beginning of the 80s.
What was the one with Live Wire? That was their first, because when my tattoo artist was tattooing me, he's like, dude, I remember this.
I'm completely wrong. I was like, I think Motley Crue's mid 80s to late 80s, but nah.
Motley Crue Live Wire album. Yeah, this Too Fast for Love. What year was that, dude? 1981 that came out. That's when they were like degenerates, bro. Well, actually, that's probably the full, freaking 80s. I don't know. Until
that's when
Kurt Cobain came and ruined it all. Freaking flannel wears.
Everyone got upset.
Everyone's just sad, dude. I remember. I don't remember exactly.
I'm a fan of grunge. Let me just say that. Like, I'm a fan of grunge. I like Nirvana.
That's why he dyed his hair dark, because he's sad.
you know what my favorite grunge band is, and this is gonna make me lose credit with people, but whatever. Collective Soul.
What band?
Collective Soul. They're technically grunge, even though they're a Christian band.
There you go. That's cool, man. I didn't even know that, or I would know it if I heard it. I'm sure. Collective Soul song. How about this? I don't remember exactly where I was, but I remember when that riff for the Smells Like Teen Spirit riff, like that, like all historians say that riff killed hair metal. They're like, all right, it's over. Now we're sad in Seattle. We used to like be, blonde with whiskey and Ferraris. Now we're like, I don't care about anything.
Well, I don't think it's you didn't care about anything. I think you did care. That's
whatever, Dean.
But it was also the angst. It's not just like it wasn't just sad, because like Nirvana has those slow songs as well. But like Teen Spirit, that's angst.
One more thing, because we're really concentrating on mental health and songs, that supposedly it can help your physical health benefits. Listening to music can lower blood pressure, improve sleep quality, and even enhance physical performance. Well, that's a fact, of course. But it can also get you in the mood. Ever heard that before? Just so you know. This is a family show, but not really. Who knows what kind of show this is? But it can get you in the mood.
You play some funk and soul and stuff like that.
Funk and soul.
light some candles.
Well, Barry White is like that's the guy for that.
Oh yeah.
With his sweet Cadillac. Yeah. Is there any song in particular that just gets you in a vibe?
In the mood? No.
No, not necessarily that. Just
I'm just messing with
you
you.
know,
Just
or that. Hey,
no. Well, one of the songs that I usually play to like test out a sound system or even like reference a track or anything like that, and also just listen to driving when I'm going out.
let me guess. Can I guess?
Yeah, I'm pretty obvious.
100%. I already know it. I know this because I know you. Daft Punk, One More Time. Or no, or Gorillas. I'm happy. No, that's too much of an easy fuck. That's too much of an easy. Hold on, it's one of the two. All right, let's lock it in. So you know what else we need is the Jeopardy sound. I'm going Daft Punk, One More Time.
That is one of them. You're all right.
Come on.
I forgot about that. But what I was thinking of was Ghosts and Stuff.
I don't even know what that is.
Dead Mouse?
Is that the Happy Nights? On the rules.
Nah,
No.
nah, it's not that one.
Do you know what song I'm talking about?
No. But you are right. So One More Time for sure. But also Ghosts and Stuff. Like if you're going for a night out and just you hear those drums play like at the beginning of the song.
Anything else about mental health and music?
I spoke a little bit about like creating music and stuff like that earlier. And just we'll get back into the more of the mentality of music and how it can affect you and stuff like that. When I like first sort of dived into music and became a musician and stuff like that, music really got me out of a lot of funks that I was in. It gave me a way of like because I was never really good at speaking, but music kind of gave me a platform to be like, this is me. I'm expressing myself and just being able to play drums and connect with people in that kind of level. That was honestly, I had friends and stuff like that before then, but that was like the sort of deeper or the deepest connection that I really started developing with people was like playing music. So it sort of like opened up this thing of like, like instead of me just being a kid, not knowing what I want to do and kind of being a bit awkward and shy like that, like music gave me this outlet to show people what I could do and to have them kind of like get it, like they would see me drum and then, turn into, they'd see me play guitar, they'd see me sing and it'd be like, oh, okay, I'm like understanding you a little bit better. And so music did a lot for me as far as coming out my show.
I love that.
Yeah.
I bet it's like that for a lot of musicians, because if you could speak through your music and your craft and your art, that's I remember there was like I don't know, back in the early 2000s, there was like the fad of being pickup artists, and like there were these pickup artist gurus, right? And they'd be like, yo, I'm going to teach you how to talk to girls. But like Neil Strauss was one of them. And he's like, bro, I've worked with countless rock stars, because maybe they were rock stars, but when they're backstage, they all of a sudden were shy again because they weren't that mega person in front of 20,000 people. They're just like that same person. So I don't doubt for a second that music can help people get out of their shells for sure. Like, and it's crazy, man. It's probably like the most out of the norm, like maybe upbringing you had or the way you are in general. Sometimes those are like the most creative of people, or most of the time, really, like without the whole storybook childhood or upbringing or job. I don't even know what I'm really talking about, but
you just mean like people that have had to overcome adversity and stuff like that. Like, it all that stuff comes out in art and stuff like that. For sure. And I mean, like at the time when I first started playing music, like I wasn't, the best off as far as like, socially. Like I had, I did have friends and stuff like that, but I also, had a lot of trouble with just, people, kids and stuff like that. And yeah, like it sort of it was just this sort of bridge that to me being a little bit more confident, a little bit more social, and just being like, hey, this is who I am. I'm not just like this kid that does absolutely nothing that, no one knows, who he is or whatever. So yeah, it really helped. It also, like, drumming, you're hitting the drums. So if you're ever like frustrated or you're feeling it, yeah, it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic, man.
Just let it out on the ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. I can feel it.
Except for me, it was like, it was, well, I played rock music and I also played stuff like that. Some Genesis. But
Who's one of the greatest drummers ever right now, real quick?
Well, for me, I have to go with my biggest inspiration on drums, and that's the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, he's a stud, man. Even I remember with that dude. I mean, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was the original drummer of Avenged Sevenfold, and it was the first time like I listened to drumming, and I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I don't want it to be purely metal, and I don't want it to be purely rock. I want it to be this like combination of the two.
Oh, dude. I didn't even know he passed away.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Dang.
Long time
2009,
ago.
Man. He was 28 in Huntington Beach. Oh, man.
So he and I don't think anyone knows the exact reason why he passed away, but there's all kinds of speculation and stuff like that. But he had an enlarged heart, and apparently the diagnosis was, he basically,
natural causes.
He was going to have a very bad death, basically, due to the enlarged heart. So,
well, he was definitely self-medicating. Toxicology results revealed in June that he died from an overdose of oxycodone, so perks, like morphine, diazepam, Valium, which, Xanax, another kind of Xanax. So, if he was dealing with that enlarged heart, he's probably self-medicating too. Damn, that's a bummer.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of, I actually haven't seen that was updated. That's basically what everyone thought, was like he overdosed because he was known for, doing that kind of stuff. And he also, like, he wrote a song called Brompton Cocktail, and a Brompton cocktail is basically just copious amounts of drugs and different kinds and stuff like that. So he wrote some of the lyrics to that song, and it's kind of crazy, like, hearing the lyrics of that song, because it sort of seems like it deals a lot with his situation. I loved his drumming style. I also loved the image that he had, like his playing style where he flip sticks a bunch and all that. So he was a huge influence of mine from like 12 to 17, 18 or something.
Avenged Sevenfold definitely had that Motley Crue-esque style.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. I remember the Hard Rock, before it became the Virgin, and they ripped the soul out of that building in Vegas. I literally used to go in there, grab a Corona, and just walk around and look at all the cool stuff. Like literally, like, Metallica guitar. But and towards the back entrance, they had a set of Rev's drums with the double kicks.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool to see.
It had the 3 bass drums on it.
Oh yeah, 3. Yeah. Dude, so probably unnecessary, but just awesome.
I as much as again, like he was my inspiration. So as much as I know or knew about the band back in the day, I still have no idea what he used the 3rd bass drum.
Just that fear in there. Oh shoot.
Yeah, potentially. It might have been like some 808 trigger thing, but I think it was just mainly for the style.
Well, it's wild with like kick drums. Like, I like August Burns Red, and he just has a double pedal, but he only has 1 bass drum, but it sounds like he gets fast, like, But meanwhile, the Jordan, I think he left as they lay dying now, but he had the 2 kicks. But I didn't know someone had 3. I wonder if there's any band that had 4. Just
Dude, there is way more than 4. There are people with all kinds of kick drums.
Dane, was there anything else you wanted to hit on music and mental stuff or life or what's been going on or anything? Is there anything else?
I think that's everything. Music's hugely important for everyone, for our culture and all that stuff. It's something we can definitely identify with. I've sometimes struggled with, like, is music something that's that's necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, like, I'm a musician, so it's sort of like I've thought about, like, what's the value that I'm giving to the world? Because there's doctors, there's scientists, there's people who are like making huge changes in the world and stuff like that. And so I've like questioned, what's the value of music that I'm trying to bring? Like, is it just art? Like, what does it all mean? But I think it's a necessity. I think it's something that we all need. We all need to have art in multiple forms, movies and stuff like that. It's becoming harder and harder for people to create those things and really make it their like life's goal and career of just focusing on their art form. But if we didn't have it, it's like they say, Earth without art would just be it's something that I think it's a huge necessary thing for people and to be able to relate to it. Kind of just brings people together,
Agreed.
And, yeah, that's why I love concerts and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was a bummer of like lockdowns when bands were trying to just like record like live sets and like stream it. It's just, yeah, there's nothing like live music, dude. When you like get in it, I'll say, if you're feeling blue or if you're feeling whatever you're feeling, if you want to change your mood, I highly recommend put on a good track, man. I mean, maybe that's common knowledge, but next time you're like just in a crappy mood, just play something that you dig, man. And it works for me. I don't know. It works for me when I'm feeling bummed or unmotivated. Like I'll listen to some epic soundscape. Like I'll listen to like just Gladiator theme. And I'm like, okay, let's run through a wall. So let it mess with your mood if your mood needs to be messed with. But Dane, was there anything else?
Nothing else. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings episode 13 to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, we try and uplift you. And I just want to let you know, make sure you check out all of our past episodes. There's 12 other ones for you to dive into, and check out the other content on the channel because we offer a lot of cool stuff that will help you get uplifted. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and let us know down below what's a song that really gets you in some type of way, whether it's sad, happy, mad, motivated, angry. And Dave, was there anything else?
Any song that gets you pumped as well?
Yeah.
Like, what's your go-to on your gym playlist?
Ooh, yeah, because I need new ones. Give me something that gets you like going for that like PR. That means personal record, I think. It's been a while. But yeah, or like if you're like, or if you just want to like say you're with the boys or you're with the girls and you guys are like pre-gaming to go out, like what's a go-to that you could be like, all right, it's time to turn up. Like I'm about to see
shotgun a beer and crush it on your head.
Oh heck yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin theme. Yeah, but I'm going to be seeing these guys in a couple days, like 6 days. So at that time, we're gonna have to come up with some kind of party music that PTs has on at their jukebox that we can just play on repeat. Hopefully, it can be. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, we try and uplift you. We'll catch you next Monday, 7 a.m. Central. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace. See you next week.